Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to go ahead and admit it right out of the gate. This video doesn't exactly feel appropriate to be making right now in light of the current circumstances, but Apple did unveil a couple of new devices during all of this, and one of them, the new iPad Pro, is one of them that I picked up. I was actually thinking of picking up the new MacBook Air as well because I do have a 2016 13-inch MacBook Pro that I use when I'm traveling. But again, I don't know how soon I'm going to be traveling anywhere, so I don't think it's really appropriate at this time. However, I do spend an awful lot of time on tablets, going back and forth between the regular 10-inch iPad and the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, the previous generation. Great experiences on both of those devices, so I can only assume that this is going to be a great experience as well. In case you are curious, I did go ahead and pick up the 128GB 11-inch second generation model with cellular built in. The retail price on this starts at $799. This one with the cellular was $949. And I did also pick up a Smart Folio case for it because on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro that I've been using for the last year, I did buy the keyboard folio case, and that has been great. It has been very useful, but at the same time, I don't find myself using it as much as I would like. So I thought this might be a little bit more useful. And I guess without any further ado, let's just go ahead and start opening it. And I thought in this video, you know, it's a new iPad. I wanted to see what was different about it, what made it sort of special and unique, compare it to those other two iPads I just mentioned, and that's about that. I mean, the last couple of iPad Pros that I've picked up and talked about on the channel, the videos have done surprisingly well, but just for everyday usage. I bought the first generation 12.9-inch iPad Pro, which was gigantic. The third generation iPad Pro 12.9-inch, which was a little bit smaller, but still a little large for traveling. So I'm hoping when and if the time comes that we actually get to start traveling regularly again, this will be a lot more travel friendly. So let's open this up, see what's inside. Oh look, it's an iPad Pro, as you would expect. However, there are some differences. I did pick up the silver version. It's gonna be covered by a case. It doesn't really matter, but I've been buying space gray everything for the last several generations. So just even compared to the iPad that I bought just a few months ago, you can see how this is significantly brighter. There's a part of me that had almost forgotten Apple did silver things. But anyway, there's the tablet. You get a little packet here that says designed by Apple in California that's got iPad Pro stuff, a SIM ejector tool, and of course a couple of white stickers, and then USB-C to USB-C cable, as well as USB-C wall adapter, which I'm not sure if you can read it there. It says the output is 5 volts at 3 amps or 9 volts at 2 amps, so an 18 watt charger. Then of course we have the tablet itself. And just to kind of list off some of the things about this, you can get it in as low as 128 gigs of storage, which as you may have seen, I did. 1 terabyte is the top end. It comes with the new A12Z or Z Bionic chip, which is supposed to be a bit of a step up from the previous one. I think the graphics are supposed to be significantly improved, but I don't have the numbers on that in front of me, sorry. 2 cameras on the back of this one, so flip it over and you can see 1 and 2. One is a regular wide-angle 12 megapixel f1.8 sensor. The other 10 megapixel f2.4, but it's a 125 degree ultra wide angle lens. And it does say the rear camera can do 4K at 60 frames per second. I think the previous model could do that, but how many people honestly record a video on a tablet? There are some, but should you? And since we're talking about it, I might as well try it out. This is the front-facing camera on the new 11-inch iPad Pro. It is 1080p 60, which I'm going to be scaling to 4K 24, so this is probably not going to look all that great, although on the screen, it looks acceptable. It looks like it would be great for video calling. Then we have 4K 60 video on the rear-facing camera of the 11-inch iPad Pro. I did look, and the previous generation does also support 4K at 60 frames per second, but again, it's only at this wide angle. Whereas on this newer tablet, I've got the ultra wide angle camera, as you can see here, and I believe I can switch back and forth with them, but this is very difficult. I'm looking in a reflection, so I can just kind of tap this. Oh, and I can even do it with a slider, so I can go in and out. But this is the widest angle you can get. Hopefully the video quality from this is decent, but I don't know when you would use it. Maybe if you're at a kid's birthday party or an event or something, you just really want to hold up an 11-inch device in front of all the people around you. But there you go. There's a quick test in good studio lighting. And of course, the third thing you might have noticed here, in case you haven't heard it mentioned 125 times in other videos, the LiDAR sensor. So basically, this is going to make your AR, your mixed reality situations a little bit more fluid. Best thing I've seen it used for so far, honestly, is some apps that do like product placement in your environment, so you can see what that shelf is going to look like when you put it on the wall, or you can see what that picture is going to look like when you put it over there. And that's just one of 1,000 different ways you could obviously use it. Just holding it in the hand and just kind of looking at it though, guess I don't need all this anymore. Definitely immediately liking the size. And of course you do still have the 4 speakers, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Looks like microphones here on the side, USB-C on this side, and antenna bands that sort of go all the way around the top and bottom with the smart connector here on the back. And just saying it out loud now, I'm kind of a fan of the silver. It feels kind of retro, but takes me back to the first iPhone I ever bought. It was silver and black. I like it. Then while we wait for this to go ahead and start up, there we go. Volume buttons here on the right-hand side, power button on the top next to the speaker, camera here on this side. Not a whole lot else going on. This looks to be another microphone on the side / bottom, whatever you want to call that. This is the section where that magnetic pencil connection would go, and I'd completely overlooked it. Here's the USB-C, and then over from it right here, this is where the SIM card will go. Again, I did pick up the cellular model, so I can put a SIM in that. I'll go ahead and go through the setup process and probably do the transfer from my other iPad, because why not? In case you've never seen this before, it did pop up and say, do you want to continue? So I did hit continue on that. There we go. For some reason I had to start it over again. Hold the camera up to it. Now it's connecting, getting ready to transfer everything. While we wait for some of that to happen, let's take a look at this guy. There's a tab on the back. Should allow it to just kind of pop open. There we go. Now I cannot say I'm surprised. It's kind of the Apple tax again, but still a little disappointing to see that these are $79. You know, it's a beautiful color. There's no smart connectivity to it. It is literally just something that has magnets on this side to attach to the back of the device, kind of like this, which will hold it in place. That I feel firm and secure about. And then it's got this piece on the back that will fold up into the little origami triangle, and that is all there is to it. Anyway, complaining aside, I am at the point to set up Face ID. So let's see. Always hard to show what I'm doing here on the overhead camera. But as much as people did complain about Face ID in the beginning, it's not as fast as Touch ID once was, but I prefer it so much. Just being able to pull out my phone and, oh look, it immediately unlocks without me having to touch it. That's really nice, especially in this day and age of not wanting to touch anything. That does remind me, I have another video that I'm going to be working on soon about a portable sanitizer bag. Let me know if you'd like to see this. This one definitely seems very topical and very timely, so this might be the next video I make. But it's a small phone sanitizer bag. Just go ahead and get all of the backups and everything. Restoring. Maybe do some quick comparisons between this new tablet and the previous ones. So while this is restoring, here's just a quick comparison. We have the new iPad 2019 edition, just the bog standard iPad, and just putting them up side by side, you can definitely see the physical size difference. It's very similar size, but the screen size difference, you've got quite a bit more screen up here, a lot more bezel on the original iPad, same on the bottom. The side bezel, they're actually about the same. And then the last generation 12.9-inch iPad Pro, you can see is definitely significantly larger. I'll just set it on top of it and you can see just how much bigger it is, which goes a long way back toward what I was saying earlier about this being a little bit more travel friendly. I will definitely admit, up to this point, whenever I'm reaching for an iPad, unless I'm reaching for it to play a game like Fortnite or something where I need a little bit more graphical power, I generally do pick up the regular iPad just because it is a little smaller, but it's not so small that it's like picking up a cell phone, because that's kind of what the iPad mini is. I've used the iPad mini for a lot of traveling and a lot of secondary device things when I'm on the road or when I was going back and forth to work. Not a whole lot of that going on at this point. But back to the rest of this. The thickness seems about the same, looks about identical. Thickness obviously between the original iPad and the Pro. The Pro is a little more square and boxy, but they're similar in terms of thickness. And the restore is almost complete, so I'll just let that finish. That color though, I mean, I think when I bought the 12.9-inch iPad Pro last year, there wasn't a color like this for the keyboard, and I thought about picking up the folio case, but I just didn't really have it in me to buy another $79 case at the time. In this case, I'm buying this instead of buying the keyboard folio because I don't know if I would want to type on something this small right here in front of me. It would feel very cramped. That said, coming in May, I think the middle or end of May, Apple is going to be releasing a new keyboard case with a trackpad on it designed for these newer iPad Pros. Not just this current generation, but also the previous generation, I believe. And it's got a new like floating hinge to it, as well as a second USB-C port, so it's finally going to take full advantage of that smart connector on the back of the device. Not sure if I'm going to be picking that one up or not, because it's like $300 for the one on the 11-inch tablet. I think $350 if you want it for the 12.9-inch, which is a lot to invest for a keyboard. For a keyboard that you're going to be pairing up with a tablet, when in reality I could pick up any Bluetooth keyboard and pair it up with something like this and probably be decently happy with it as well. Oh, we're at the point where it's ready to start. Restore completed. Data's going to continue going in the background. And you know, as much as I did kind of fault this case, this folio case, I have been purchasing these smart covers for iPads for ever, because I think I tried a generic one at one point and it just did not turn out well. However, my 4-year-old has been using an iPad Air from 6 years ago or whatever with the same kind of folio case on it, not front and back, just front. And that has protected the device significantly. Like, he can get his grubby little fingers all over the screen, all over the case, and we've been able to just wipe it off with water. He got peanut butter or Cheetos or something. He got several things on the inside of this case, this soft material, and we were able to wipe it off with water, and it's still going strong. Can't say that about a lot of things in life. But anyway, it was ready for me to unlock the iPad. Now it's asking to share audio recordings. I'm not going to be using SIRI on this. Welcome, swipe up to get started. And that's pretty much that. It's installing a bunch of apps. That's going to take a while. There's still some extra setup stuff to be done. Setting up Apple Pay. I don't know if I'll actually do that. I don't think I've ever done it on an iPad. And I'm sure there's a million other things I probably should and could be trying out on this. I could be trying out the LiDAR, but it's a little late at night. This is just kind of an unboxing and hands-on in comparison to the previous ones that I've got here. The screen looks as good as it always does. I mean, it's not going to show through on camera or anything, but it looks good and it works very smoothly. 120 hertz display, and I think it has 240 hertz input, which is just like the S20 that I just got, the Samsung. It's a flagship device. It starts at $800, so if you're paying that much for it, you're going to want it to be excellent, and I expect this to be. If it is not, you'll definitely be seeing a follow-up video from me. I will let you know my exact thoughts and opinions on it after having used it for some time, but as I was saying, if it's anything like the previous generation 12.9 inch that I've used, it should be an absolute workhorse, be able to do everything you want to do, up to and including video editing at this point. I bought LumaFusion for the iPad Pro last year, and I didn't use it a lot, but the fact that it was there and that I could use it when I was on trips and things was very handy. And I might actually try to use it with the 12.9 inch when and if we actually get to start traveling places again. With my new job, there may be some traveling to Chicago or to other countries. And if that's the case, this might be what goes along with me as my personal device. Definitely looking forward to that. So let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. Obviously, $799 as a starting point for the smaller device is not going to be for everyone. If you are a pro, if you're an artist, if you're a video editor that needs something portable, a photographer that wants to be able to do things while you're on the go, a gamer, if you play Fortnite or PUBG or any of the other mobile games that have a sort of competitive edge to them, this is what you're going to be looking for. This or the larger one, obviously. I play a pretty decent amount of Fortnite at this point. When I'm playing games, generally it's either VR, which is pretty limited still at this point, or it is Fortnite on the iPad Pro. And now I'm going to be trying it out on this device. If you'd like to see my Fortnite setup, let me know. That might be another interesting, really short video. But that's where I'm going to wrap it up for today. I've been talking entirely too long. It says 25 minutes on my recorder. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up down below the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get notified when new videos come out. Ring the notification bell and then ding the fliz whopper and shine the shoes and buckle your belt and wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face, eyes, nose, or mouth. That's the best advice I can honestly give you. Just don't touch your face and wash your hands for 20 seconds or more and use hand sanitizer and stay far away from people. And there's so much to say there. Thank you guys as always for sticking around. Hopefully you are surviving and dealing well with this, dealing as well as you can expect to deal with it. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye guys.